Still wait to escapedly. So we're going to talk about nouns and adjectives, and this is going to be a basic overview, and you're going to build on that as you go on in Latin. Okay, so what are adjectives? Let's start as always as we do in English. And so adjectives are just they modify or they tell more about nouns. So here are some examples. Okay, so for the first time in a decade. So time is your noun there, and first is telling you more about that time. It wasn't just time, it was the first time. And here we have blue moons. Okay, so what type of moons? They're blue. You're learning more about the type of moons. And then a hugger, someone who hugs, that's a noun. And then we're telling you more about the type of hugger they are. So they're a good hugger. There's several others on this page. And I want you to find a noun adjective pair that's somewhere on here and just write it in the box in the Ed puzzle. Okay, so I have here some Latin examples, and you can see that I've taken the word callida and I have moved it around to go with different nouns. So here we have the clever girl, okay, the puella callida. Here we have the puer callidus, the clever boy. And here we have the uxorum callidum, the clever wife. And here we have the inimicum callidum, the clever enemy. So I want you to sort of pay attention to how, what do you notice about the noun adjective pair? So what do you notice about callida as it changes to go with each noun? And that, or I could also ask this as, how do I know what adjective goes with what noun? So how do I know that callidum and uxorum are going together? Go ahead and just make a guess. Okay, so you probably realize something about how the ending changes as it moves around, and a lot of times they have similar or the same endings. And what that actually is that nouns and adjectives must agree in Latin. Okay, what is that? What does agree mean? It means that they have the same case, gender, which we'll get into more later, and number. Okay, so here's our examples again. You can see that puella and callida are both nominative and singular, and then they're also both feminine, which again, we'll get into gender later. And then you can see with puer callidus that they are both nominative and singular. So us is a nominative singular ending, and puer is a nominative singular word. And then down here we have uxorum callidum. They're both accusative and singular, and also feminine, but again, we'll get into gender later. And then inimicum callidum, they're both accusative and singular again. So basically, all we need to know well, not all, but the big message we need to remember about nouns and adjectives in Latin is that they have to be the same case, gender, and number. If the noun is nominative, the adjective changes to be nominative. If the noun is accusative, the adjective changes to be accusative. Okay, so there are two types of adjectives, and we're going to go over this briefly. We would spend a long time on this if it were like a normal quarter, but I just want you guys to get the basic ideas of this. So adjectives can either be first and second declension adjectives, and you can see what the dictionary entries look like. In your book, it just says litus, but if you go look it up in the Big Kid Dictionary, it's litus, lita, litum, and or they can be third declension. And there's the dictionary entries for those. Now, I keep saying we will talk about gender, and here's the idea with gender. If an adjective is third declension on the bottom there, it doesn't matter what gender the noun is. Doesn't matter at all. They look the same. However, if a noun or if an adjective is a first and second declension adjectives, it will take first declension endings when it goes with a feminine thing, and it will take second declension endings when it goes with a masculine thing. So if we go back, you can see that callida is got an A on it, a first declension ending, because puella is a feminine word. And then the next one, callidus, has a US, has a second declension ending because it's going with puer, which is a masculine word. And the same down there with xora, which is feminine, and callidum, which is got a first declension ending because uxorum is feminine. And notice it doesn't matter what declension the noun is, it's just that adjectives have their own declensions. And same down there with inimicum, which is masculine, has a second declension ending on it. Okay, we're not going to worry too much about the gender but I do want you to realize that the adjectives follow certain patterns. Okay, so all adjectives will have the same case and number as the nouns they are going with. They will also have the same gender. Again, gender. Here we go. Adjectives going with masculine nouns can be second declension or third declension. Adjectives going with feminine nouns can be first declension or third declension. If you get that, that's all we're really worried about with gender. And or another way to say this is that feminine nouns can't be modified by second declension adjectives, and masculine nouns can't be modified by a adjective with the first declension ending. Okay, so that is the end. There's a whole bunch of questions now. In lieu of like a Google form, I decided to just put them all into Edpuzzle, so there was only one thing for you guys to do today. So go ahead and answer those questions. Re-watch the video if you need to, and I will post these slides on your weekly, like your weekly to-do agenda. Okay, Walete Omnes.